Max, if I hold up a towel like this one, what does it suggest to you?
Who can forget it, Bobby? The 4 championship years, Myron Cope, a broadcaster in Pittsburgh, invented this, the terrible towel. They'd wave it, they'd do anything, and on days like today, if you pick the Steelers, you have other use for it.
Yes, it becomes a crying towel, but in fact, during those glory years, the terrible towel was the brainchild of a Pittsburgh legend by the name of Myron Cope. Let's meet him.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday night session of Myron Cope on Sports. Well, it was a big day today for Steeler receiver Louis Lips. I suppose he'll remember this day for a while. The pass was intended for the tight end, Easton Ransom, and when Woodruff picked it off, he found himself in a confrontation with Easton Ransom, eyeball to eyeball, and just sort of stood there, did Woodruff, until Rick Woods came over and busted Easton Ransom, give him a nice block and a kisser, and off went Woodruff to the races for a little while, taking it down inside the Bills' 42-yard line.
56-year-old Myron Cope, a lifelong Pittsburgh guy. His feature writing was acclaimed for its humor and insight. Then in the late 60s, he made the unlikely switch from writer to broadcaster and soon became a local legend. In football-mad Pittsburgh, it was Cope who dubbed Coach Chuck Noll the Emperor Chaz, and during the Super Bowl years, thought up the idea for the emblem of the terrible towel.
Myron, for years, you were a respected feature writer, Sports Illustrated, one of the top-notch guys in the country, a literate guy. What made you change and all of a sudden become a folk hero? Well, not illiterate, but a folk hero in a broadcasting role?
Well, I'd always made my home in Pittsburgh. It's my hometown, and I traveled out of here on magazine assignments. But one day I got a call from the program director of WTAE Radio, and he said, we're trying to build a sports image here. We don't have one, and we wondered if you would be interested in doing a morning commentary on sports. We'll put a microphone in your home, and you can do it from there. People know you as a Sports Illustrated writer, and we think it would be helpful to us. So I said to the man, well, now, don't kid me, because I've heard my voice on tape, and it is sure as heck not a broadcasting voice. And he said, that's all right, don't worry, because we're a forward-looking station, and we think we see a trend in this business toward obnoxious voices. Steve Freeman tried to bring him down. He said, as he did earlier in this game to Freeman, nothing doing, Freeman, and he went on down to the 26-yard line. So I said, well, let me think it over. I'll call you back. So I hung up the phone, and I told my wife about this conversation, and she said, don't do it. You'll embarrass me. Well, I got very angry, so I called the guy back, and I said, you've got a sportscaster. And then the show caught on after people were able to accustom their ear to the voice. It was terrible at first, because, you see, they put a microphone in my house, and when I first faced it, I couldn't believe that I could speak into this and people miles away would hear me. So I started in shouting to be on the safe side.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah, shouting ever since. So, you know, I went on the air and people called the switchboard, and the poor girl was flooded with calls, and they said, get that man off the air. I can't hear that in the morning when I'm just gotten out of bed. But they got accustomed to it. All right, it's Myron Cope on Sports on WTAE. Tell you what we got on tap tonight for the first hour. It's a hotline. Anything you want to talk about is okle-dokle with me pertaining to sports.
You think Steeler fans, more so than fans elsewhere in the country, turn down network TV and turn on Myron Cope and his buddies?
There's no question about it. You just know it from the reaction, the response, the mail. Sounds egotistical, but what I think it is a result of is the fact that my partner Jack Fleming and I know the football team better than a visiting team of network broadcasters can possibly know the football team. We're here all the time, and people have come to appreciate that over the years, I think. And Mike Wilson, a big offensive tackle, came up to meet Shell at the 5-yard line. Shell gave him a sink in his head. He faked him into the 13th row, and he was in for a touchdown.
You ever have to eat any crow?
Many times. Yeah?
Like when?
They're all wrong. Ooh, the classic case. It was a year when the Steelers, in order to get to the playoffs, had to have their most hated rivals, the Oakland Raiders, defeat Cincinnati in a late season game. And the Oakland Raiders at that time had locked up the playoffs for themselves. So you figure there's no way that Al Davis and that bunch is going to help the Steelers. They'll go out there and go through the motions.
Yeah.
Well, they came out there and they beat the Bengals. And I said, I had said on the air, I said, I was so sure that wouldn't happen. I said, if the Raiders beat the Cincy Bungles, I said, I'll swim the Monongahela River. Well, they beat them. So now I'm stuck. So I go out there one night. We did it late at night. We had television crew and everything, but we didn't want to cause, that's right downtown here, we didn't want to cause traffic tie-ups in a rush hour or anything, so we did it in darkness with a spotlight and all. And I got a wetsuit, and it was a dead of winter. And there I go across the Monongahela River, which I do believe, and I can say this, but you can't. I just heard it recently. It's the third dirtiest river in America. Merry Christmas, Sarcastic Sword.
Thank you very much.
Bye now.
Bye.
It's Cope on Sports on WTAE.
Axe, you first became acquainted with Myron Cope when he was a writer, and a good one.
That's right, he's a very good writer. But I think now he's become almost a symbol of what we believe in around here for broadcasting sports. Short in stature, he gets excited, he shouts about everything, and he captures the whole spirit that this game is supposed to be fun, even when you're losing 28-3.
And he understands that it's a hybrid between journalism and entertainment, has no silly pretense to the contrary, and he actually revels in his role as a showman. I asked him how he came to nickname Chuck Noll the Emperor Chaz. Here's what he said.
The Steelers, when they won their third Super Bowl, and they came back to Pittsburgh for a celebration in Market Square, they were now officially a dynasty. When you win 3 of them, there's no longer any argument, right? Mm-hmm. So they're a dynasty. Well, there's these people, thousands, multitudes of people. They're hanging off telephone poles and trees and out of windows out there. And I was up there on this stage emceeing the victory celebration, and I said to myself, what's a dynasty without an emperor? So I told the crowd, I said, now I want you to repeat after me. I said, all hail the Emperor Chaz. And these legions of people, it was thunderous here, all hail the Emperor Chaz. And I said, this is fun. Now I know what power is. And I said, let's do it again. And I did it 3 times, and thereafter he's the Emperor Chaz.
Does he like that? Myron Cope, he's got to be moaning and groaning over the air on WTAE today with the Steelers trailing 28-3 to the Giants at halftime. We'll return to Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen after this from your local stations.